Let's make some very easy and fun little love notes. One thing to know about me, I love making things that don't take a lot of effort, but have a big impact. These love notes are that for me, for sure. You can use these notes for Valentines, counting down to Valentine's Day, love notes, thank you notes, or notes in general any time of the year, anniversary cards, gift tags, really anything. You're the boss. You can do whatever you want. Let's talk about what you need to make these. Time-wise, it's about an hour at the most, but it depends on how many you're making. As far as focusing goes, you need some for drawing, coloring, cutting, and gluing hearts, but I don't think that's too bad. And for energy, you need some for coloring, cutting, and gluing. That takes up most of the time. So it depends on how you do with those things. Of course, you can modify in several ways to save energy, like starting with paper that's already colored, having a hole punch that makes a heart, or a machine that can cut it out if you have access to that, things like that. Here are the materials that you need. You need paper of any kind. Seriously, whatever paper you have on hand works. You don't need super thick cardstock or anything. You need markers or crayons or highlighters or paint, anything that's going to make that paper colorful. Scissors. I actually used kit scissors for this. 3x5 index cards. You're going to want them to be blank on both sides. I think you can get about 100 of these for $1. And glue. I used a glue stick. You don't have to. Remember, you are the boss, but I think it makes it a little easier. Here's a warning for you. You're going to have a lot of really colorful and pretty looking paper scraps after you're done with this. I give you full permission to recycle them, or you can save them for a future project. If that's the case though, I'd suggest that you brainstorm about what project you want to use them for, so you don't just keep them forever and never use them, which is usually how I roll, but I'm getting better. Okay, let's make them. First, you need to plan out about how many hearts you're going to need. So you can make cards that have a single heart like this. You can make ones that have multiple hearts like this. But once you figure out about how many hearts you need, you can look at the size paper that you have and figure out how many pieces of paper you need to color. In general, it's never bad to color more than you may actually need. Next, get your paper and the markers or crayons or highlighters or paint that you're going to use, and then just fill those pieces of paper up with color. How you do this is up to you. There seriously are no rules, which makes it really fun. You can do one color, many colors, stripes, dots, scribbles. I really like how a few of ours turned out that had scribbles on them, and it's really therapeutic to just scribble and kind of make a mess. There's really no wrong way to do this. They will turn out looking really good no matter what, honestly. You can get kids in on this if they're around too. My 2-year-old did some of the best scribbling for this. Next, you're going to flip those scribbled on, colored in pieces of paper over and start drawing some hearts on there. Here's the rough guide I used when I cut mine out. I used paper from a notebook that was smaller than 8.5 by 11. So the scale of this guide worked out for me, but you can adjust it to the scale of your paper and how big you want the heart to be on the finished product. I think it's cool to do the hearts in this way particularly because even though you're using the same piece of paper, doing the different directions is helping you get some hearts that look a lot different from each other, which is kind of fun. Next, you're going to cut out the hearts and then you're going to keep the scraps or recycle them, whatever you decided on earlier. Now, you're going to glue those hearts onto your 3x5 index cards. You have tons of options here. You could put the heart at the top and write the note on the front. You could center the heart and use the back of the card to write a note. You could put small hearts across the top and bottom and write on the front. You could put the heart centered on the bottom half and fold to make a little card. You could even fill in the entire note with hearts and write on the back. Basically, anything you want to do because ultimately it's your life. You're the boss of this project. When it comes to gluing, I find putting the glue onto the heart and then putting it on the paper works out the best. And then you're done. Unless you want to do this optional step, which is tracing around the heart. I like doing this because it really shows off the hand cut aspect of the hearts, and I really like the contrast. But again, this is all up to you. I know it seems like a little extra work to cut out a heart and then put it on a 3x5 card, but I did it in this way because the 3x5 size lends itself really well to being stored for later or saved in like a little photo album. We're planning on using these as a countdown to February 14th, and I know I'm going to want to save these little notes in an album later, so I thought, why not just make them in a size that would be perfect for that? Do you think you'll make these? And is there anything in here that I missed? Let me know. Thanks and have fun making your heart cards.